Do you ever have one of those days where everything's going okay, and then something tiny, like dropping your keys, turns into a full body stress test? And before you know it, your tremor's doing the cha cha, and you're thinking, like, seriously? All I want to do is leave the house. Yeah, well, welcome to stress, Parkinson's vicious cycle. Because with Parkinson's, stress doesn't just live in your mind, it moves right into your nervous system, and it doesn't pay rent. So today we're talking about the 5 ways that stress makes Parkinson's worse and what I actually do about it. Not theory, not some wellness brochure, the real stuff that helps when it hits. And stick around to the end today because the Bryce-ism will make you laugh and make you feel seen.
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. And if you're new here, I'm Bryce. How are you? And this channel is all about real talk, real stories, and a lot of humor mixed into the chaos that is Parkinson's. And if that sounds like your type of people that you want to hang out with, hit subscribe right now. Join the club. And if you're already part of this family, hey, drop a comment below. Just say, hey, I'm here. So I know that you're with me today. Okay, but let's get into today. This is a big topic, so I want to get right into it. So let's start with the chemistry between stress and dopamine because they have a nasty relationship. Think of dopamine like gas in your tank. Now, think of stress as that friend who borrows the car and returns it empty. When stress hits, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. And those are survival hormones. They're great if you're running from a bear, but not so great when you're just trying to make a breakfast. Those hormones, they compete with dopamine, which means whatever dopamine you have left gets burned faster. Now, I've had mornings where I felt off before I even got out of bed. And then I'd realize I've been lying there worrying for half an hour about something that I couldn't control. And that alone was enough to throw me off of balance for the rest of the day. How about you? How many times, or if you've ever, maybe you've never, maybe it's just Bryce, but if we're being honest, how about this? Me too in the comments. Ever worried about something that never happened? How about that? Me too in the comments. How many comments of me too can we get? And just to see everybody worrying about things that don't happen. So here's what I do today. Before I even get up, I take 1 minute, literally 60 seconds, to breathe. I use the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. That's the only math I still like. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. 4-7-8. You can remember that, right? Now, that tells my body, hey, we're not under attack, and it calms down. Try it. Try it right now. Actually, just try it right now. In through the nose, hold it, hold it, hold it. Long, slow exhale. Now, if you just did that, type breathe with Bryce below. Breathe with Bryce. I want to know who's actually trying this stuff with me. Maybe I'm just making a fool of myself. But you know what? I'm only saying things that work and that help me. So if you dealing with stress, if you've felt overwhelmed in the morning, try it, please. Come on. Nothing's going to change if you don't do anything different, right? All right. So when I skip this and I jump straight into chaos, I feel it instantly. My meds don't hit right. My mood's edgy. My dog started avoiding me because apparently stress smells like attitude. That's what I've heard now. Stress smells like attitude. Anyway, so stress steals your dopamine. And when dopamine drops, guess what else shows up uninvited? Yep. Our good old buddy, the tremor. Okay. So tremor application. So this is where stress gets really loud. You can be perfectly still one moment, and then somebody says, "Are you okay?" And that's it. Tremors on stage, right? You ever you ever try to act calm when your hand's auditioning for the Macarena solo? One time I remember I was speaking at an event. Right? I was feeling really confident. Everything was really going really good, like normal. And then I spotted a guy in the front row filming me. Instant stress. I don't know why, but instant stress. And suddenly, I looked like I was waving at him for the next 30 seconds. Now, here's the science. Stress tightens your muscles, increases nerve firing, and throws your fine motor control completely out the window. It's like trying to thread a needle during an earthquake. You ever tried that before? No, me neither. So here's what I do. And it took me years to figure this out, but I stop trying to fight the tremor. Instead, I change my focus. If I'm holding something, I shift it. Use both hands to rest my arm somewhere, or rest my arm somewhere stable. And this part's huge. I add humor to it because when I laugh about it, the pressure breaks. You know, once I told a waiter, like, don't worry, this isn't nerves. It's my superpower for mixing drinks or stirring my coffee. And just like that, the tension's gone. Humor diffuses embarrassment faster than any therapy session. I promise you. So, if stress makes your tremor double, then don't try to control it. Control the moment around it. And if you've had one of those Parkinson's in public stories, share below. We'll all get a laugh and we'll learn something. I love laugh. I love your comments, especially the crazy things I've been through. So throw it in the comments. I'd love to read it. Although, all right, so now we're low on dopamine, right? We're shaking like a blender and we're thinking, fine, I'll just take my meds early because that'll fix it, right? Yeah, well, about that, here's what I didn't know for the longest time. Stress literally changes how your meds absorb. Your stomach tightens, your blood flow slows, your digestion can stop. It's like putting up a close for business sign on your gut. And levodopa needs calm to get where it's going. Stress turns that smooth highway into the bumper to bumper traffic. And I learned this the hard way before a doctor's appointment once. I was nervous, right? I don't like doctors. I was nervous. I hadn't eaten, and I took my meds on the way. And by the time I got to the clinic, nothing had kicked in. And I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to give me crap, right? I sat there stiff as a statue while my neurologist said, you seem a little slow today. And I'm like, no kidding, doc. My cortisol's doing like a hostile takeover. So now, if I'm heading into something stressful, a meeting, a flight, or even dealing with an insurance form, that's a real trigger, by the way, I pause. 10 minutes of calm before meds. Deep breathing, right? Or 7-8. Light stretch. Sometimes just even quiet or put some music on. And it makes all the difference. Now, if you've noticed your meds don't hit right when you're stressed, comment below and just, give me that me too again. Okay, so because we got to normalize talking about this stuff. It's not weakness, it's just biology. So who cares? Me too. So we've lost dopamine, we started shaking, and our meds are taking the day off, right? And you'd think we'd catch a break when we sleep then, because it's been a while. That's a rough day. Yeah, well, let's talk about sleep. Hmm. Have you ever gone to bed tired but wired? I can't explain it any better than that. Tired but wired. You're physically exhausted, but your brain's like, cool, let's overthink every decision that we ever made. Right? Stress wrecks sleep. And when you don't sleep, your symptoms, they throw like a tantrum. My worst nights are the ones before big travel days. You know, especially when you want to sleep. I lie there calculating how many hours it'll take for me to fall asleep right now, and then somehow do the math. It gets worse, and I'm trying to figure out what time I have to leave for the airport, and I don't want to be late. And wait a minute, I got to be there an hour and a half or an hour before my flight now, so that means I have to leave at this time, and it's just wild, right? And it's like my math, and then my math starts getting really weird. And then I start like, well, what time am I actually leaving? Maybe I got the wrong time. Well, maybe I better get up and look at my phone and double check what time I'm flying. Oh my God, my God, my God. And I go through this entire cycle of pure hell. It's what it is. It's just crazy. So, and then there's a night before a speech, right? I was staring at the ceiling until 3 a.m. I finally dozed off and I woke up like stiff, foggy, and cranky. And Carmen handed me a coffee. And I just said, you might want to pray for everybody I meet today. This is not going to be a good day. But here's the fix, because it's fixable. If that's you, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. It's fixable. Here it is what the fix is. Ready? Write this down. This is a big one. I'll wait for you to get a pen. Structure. Structure. I set a bedtime routine and I stick to it. like gospel, cool room, low lights, no screens, at least 30 minutes before I want to sleep. And when I can't sleep, I stop fighting it. I get up, I stretch, I breathe, I read something calm. Sometimes I even talk to my hand and I say, "Hey, we're off duty, man. Let's call it a night. It's time to stop." You know, that's what I do. So if you ever had stress fueled sleepless nights that wrecked your next day, let me know below because you know that I had a doozy one not that long ago. And you know that you're not alone there. We've all been up at the 3 a.m. Googling how to turn off my brain, how to relax, how to calm down. What do I need to do? I call it, and you know, with Parkinson's, I call it the 3 a.m. coffee club. The 3 a.m. coffee club. Is anybody part? How about this? Anybody part of my 3 a.m. coffee club? Because we're just sitting there and it's like we're up. We're at 3 a.m. club. We might as well be up. And if you think about that from a really weird perspective, I'm lying in bed at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling fan going around and around and around and around. And how many other thousands of people like me, people with Parkinson's, are lying there doing the same thing? I think we should start a club. I think we should call it the 3 a.m. club. You want to join my club? Let me know. Say, join in the 3 a.m. club because we might as well. I don't know. Anyway, and finally, the sneakiest one of all, the stress that doesn't come from life. Huh, you know where it comes from? People. What do I mean? Well, have you ever walked into a room and suddenly become hyper aware of your every move? Like you can feel people watching, even if they're not. That's stress. And it's like caffeine for your symptoms. I remember one time I was at a dinner, right? And I was trying to act casual, but my fork had other plans. And by the time I finished, and you know what I mean when I say that, right? Like, come on. And when the time I finished eating, half the table was cheering me on, like I was in some type of sport. Like it became like the sport. It was crazy. And it was like they were cheering, "Come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it." Right? The worst part, I started to avoid social stuff altogether. I really did because I just didn't want to go through that again. And at first, it felt safer, fewer eyes, less stress. But you know what? It actually made everything worse. Isolation adds more anxiety, which feeds your symptoms. It's like building your own stress factory. So here's my approach now. This is what I do now. If I'm nervous about going out, I plan a small win. I plan small wins. Coffee with one friend, right? Short visits. I tell myself, you're not performing, Bryce. You're connecting. You're not performing. You're connecting. And if things get awkward, I make a joke. One time I told a stranger at a cafe, "Don't worry, I'm not cold. No, I just came with my own vibration setting." We both laughed. I laughed. And suddenly, it just wasn't a big deal anymore. Hmm. So, if you ever pulled off a funny save like that one, I want to hear about that too. Because I love hearing what you say and what I say and how it all goes together. Okay, but what can we actually do about it? Okay, this is the important stuff. Okay, so those are five ways that stress messes with my Parkinson's. But now here's what helps me fight back. You ready? Here we go. Number one, breathe before reacting. Most stress starts in the moment between feeling something and responding to it. And that's where I pause. One breath, always one breath. Number two, prep before pressure, right? If I know something stressful, travel, appointments, doctor's appointments, I take my meds early, I get hydrated, and I give myself time. Parkinson's hates rushing. I'm always best on my second dose, so I get up even earlier. Number three, stop hiding. The day I stopped apologizing for shaking was the day my stress cut in half. I'm telling you right now, it cut in half. Because hiding takes more energy than honesty ever will. Hiding takes more energy than honesty ever will. And you got to stay connected. The inner circle community saves me more than I can say. It's where I can vent, I can learn, I can laugh, and I don't need to ever explain myself. And that's priceless. For example, I read and respond to every single comment in the YouTube, every single comment on YouTube. And you're probably sitting there going, "Well, you haven't responded to mine." Yeah, I'm behind because you know what? Something happened here. This thing exploded. And I have thousands of comments, hundreds of comments. We're just blowing it up, and I love it. And don't get me wrong, I love it. But that doesn't mean I don't like reading the comments and responding to them. I'm just behind. I'm trying my best to catch up. And so if you've left a comment lately or you within the last month and I haven't got back yet, know that I'm coming. Don't you worry, it's coming because I stick by my word and I read them and I love them and I want to be a part of that. And you will understand for me reading your comments and hearing your hacks and hearing what you're going through and hearing, what's happening out there and how you're feeling. Oh, man, that's where I get my energy from, and that's where I can go, and it's like, oh my gosh, I just love it. So anyway, if I'm behind in the comments, I haven't got back to you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, but I'm coming. And that inner circle, that's what I was going to say. I know I've made some people mad because they're thinking I haven't got back to them. But in the inner circle, when I've been tired, it's been a long run. I don't have to worry about people thinking, well, Bryce didn't get back to me within an hour. What's the matter? And I'm comfortable in that. And they know I will. They know I will. So, and when I say they, what a wicked community. If you're not part of it, come on now. Come on. Links in the description. I'm telling you, it is fun. It is fun. It's our community, right? It's our community. And number 5, accept what it is. I can't control stress, but I can choose not to stress about the stress. And that's power. And that leads me right into Carmen's Care Partner Corner. And this is what she asked me to say to you. Stress doesn't just hit the person with Parkinson's. It doesn't just hit Bryce. It hits us. It hits us. And when I see Bryce start to tighten up, I don't rush in. I've learned to stop and ask, what's your stress level right now? And that's one question that has saved us so many arguments. So many arguments. What's your stress level at right now? My advice to other care partners, you can't carry their stress for them, but you can carry the calm beside them. Wow. I mean, that was quick, but wow. I like that. So true. Sometimes what helps most isn't the solution. It's just steady company. So if you're a care partner out there watching this, drop a heart. Drop a heart in the comments for Carmen. She'll absolutely check later to see how many she got. Anyway. Okay. And guess what? There's some people out there doing Parkinson's alone. Here's a solo tip for you. If you're living alone, remember this. Calm doesn't always come from company. Sometimes it comes from routine. I keep sticky notes everywhere, right? I've told you this one. One says breathe first. Another one says still here. They're my tiny reminders that no matter how stressful the day gets, I'm still showing up. I'm still showing up. And if you've got your own solo trick, share it. Share it below because I'd love to try it myself. So that's it. Stress isn't just emotional. It's physical, it's chemical, and it's deeply personal. But the big but here is it's manageable. You can't get rid of stress, but you can outsmart it. So here's your challenge this week. And I really mean this challenge. When stress hits, don't push it away. Name it. Say, okay, I see you. Because once you name it, it loses half its power. It really does. Now, if this video is hitting home, please hit that like button and tell YouTube that this content is worth sharing. And if you're new here, please hit subscribe for more real talk about living with Parkinson's. And if you want to go deeper, as I mentioned before, join the Inner Circle. There is a free trial going on right now, so you can check it out first with no obligation. That's where we hang out after the camera goes off, and we talk through stuff together. And there is like a solo group in there and a care partner group and everything else. Anyway, okay, so thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end. And because of that, guess what? You have unlocked the Bryce-ism of the episode. And here you are. This is your Bryce-ism of the day. With Parkinson's, stress doesn't just live in your mind. If there was a house party in your nervous system. And guess who's cleaning up afterwards? All right, until next time, keep showing up. You keep laughing and you keep doing life today. Love you guys.